Today, I want to talk about Caleb Williams' growth. His development is by far the most important factor of the 2024 season, and Caleb Williams versus the Blitz is really the biggest measure of his development so far. It's been just a small sample size of 5 games, but what we've seen from Caleb is the best sign of real development I've ever seen from a Bears quarterback. The hardest thing for most QBs to adjust to in the NFL is throwing when they are under pressure. NFL defensive coordinators love to disguise coverages and dial up blitzes, especially against rookie quarterbacks. And through the first 2 weeks of the season, that seemed like a big issue for Caleb Williams. He struggled mightily against the blitz. His passer rating when under pressure week 1 was 55.7 and just 51.0 in week 2. NFL teams love to go after young quarterbacks. His passer rating against pressure was not very good the first 2 weeks of the season, 55.7 in week 1 and 51.2 in week 2. NFL teams love to go after young QBs, and it worked against the Bears. Caleb was sacked 16 times over the first 4 games and pressured 53 times. 53 pressures and 16 sacks in 4 games. On Sunday, the Panthers only recorded 6 pressures and 1 sack. Part of that was the offensive line. They've played much better. But another part of that reason, though, is because things have changed with Caleb Williams. In the last 2 weeks, Caleb has been awesome against the blitz. He has quite simply been one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL when it comes to playing under pressure. In week 4 against the Rams, Caleb led the entire league in passer rating versus the blitz with a 125.4 rating when under pressure. He continued that this week as well. And now over the last 2 weeks against the blitz or under pressure, Caleb is 17 for 19 for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and not a single turnover-worthy play. That's right, 0 turnover-worthy plays the last 2 weeks when under pressure. He has absolutely torched defenses that want to blitz him. A complete 180 from the first 2 weeks. Week 3 was a bit mixed. He was still sacked 4 times and under pressure 13 times, but he was starting to connect and hit on 2 big-time throws. But then in week 4, something clicked against the Rams, and it continued in yesterday's game against the Panthers. Caleb is absolutely cooking against the blitz, and his sack came when the Panthers didn't even send pressure. It was a coverage sack. The Panthers only sent 4 guys, and Caleb stood in the pocket too long and took a sack. But that's how good Caleb was against the blitz, that the Panthers stopped sending extra guys and had more success when they didn't. It only took our rookie quarterback a few weeks to make the adjustments needed and to get up to speed in the NFL. His growing pains aren't completely out of the way yet, but now that he's handling the blitz much better, teams are going to adjust and try to disguise coverages and confuse him. So far, Caleb is answering the bell, and his development is happening right in front of our eyes. But honestly, this is the perfect time to talk about it right now. After 5 games, it really has been a tale of 2 different quarterbacks. If you split his games right down the middle, cut the Colts game in half, so 2.5 games to start the season and 2.5 games since, 10 quarters of football each. Here is how he performed the first 10 quarters of football this year. He had 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He was only completing 50% of his passes and averaging just 5.2 yards per attempt, both below NFL average. To go with that, he had a passer rating of just 57.6 after 2.5 games. He was struggling versus the blitz, and he was struggling to connect on his deep passes. But since halftime in Indianapolis, Caleb has been awesome for the last 2.5 weeks. 5 touchdown passes to just 1 interception. He's completing over 70% of his passes and averaging nearly 8 yards an attempt, both above NFL averages. And to go with that, he's boasted a passer rating of 109.8, and he's gotten much better versus the blitz, like I just talked about, top of the NFL when it comes to facing pressure, and he's really shown signs of improvement when it comes to throwing the ball 20+ yards downfield. And I wanted to briefly mention that as well. A lot of people keep bringing up his inaccuracy downfield. Anyone who's studied Caleb Williams for a long time, that has never been a question about his game. His deep ball accuracy has always been elite. To me, it's just about his timing and getting on the same page with his receivers. It's the other things that have been a worry, playing in structure with an NFL offense and taking snaps under center. And then how he performs against the Blitz. Last year in college at USC, his worst game came against Notre Dame, and they put tons of pressure on him. After 5 games this year, he's shown real development. Development as a passer, development as a leader on offense, and real development handling pressure in the NFL and facing exotic blitzes. His development is a real thing. And as Bears fans, it's going to be so special to watch a quarterback actually be developed in this town. It's a special time for Bears fans, and every single week, Caleb Williams is must-see TV. Sometimes it's easier to see it than it is to hear it. Look at the numbers on the left of the screen. This is how the season started. Since halftime against the Colts, this is how he's been since then. This is real development. The offensive line is blocking better. DeAndre Swift has gotten going. We have an actual running game. And all of this coincides and goes along with Caleb Williams' development. But you cannot deny the growth. He is getting better right in front of our eyes, guys. It's been a joy to watch. His second TD pass to DJ Moore was insane. And we had a lot of clean pockets on Sunday. Part of that was the Panthers were dealing with some injuries, but they were only missing one starter on the D-line. But on top of that, Caleb has just improved basically every single week. His passer rating has gotten better. The first 2 weeks, it was around 55, then it went up to 80.8, then 106.6, before climbing all the way up to 126.6 against the Panthers. This is growth and development. And I also mentioned it yesterday, but Caleb also got things going on passes 20-plus yards downfield, something he really struggled with weeks 1 through 4, going 3 for 23 with 0 TDs and 3 interceptions. Yesterday, the accuracy downfield was there, even with swirling winds. This was another impressive performance from Caleb Williams, providing a glimpse of what the future might look like. You guys know how excited I am about this team's future. Hopefully the doubters among you start to see it too. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments. Remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned. And until next time, bear down.